guys, we have a guest speaker tonight that we're going to share with you. Zack is one of our grad college students, and he's actually lived with our family for a couple of times while he had foot surgery and things like that. And it's just been really cool to see just what God has done in him, and really just the things that he has learned lately, and just how he brings his experiences into really just sharing others about what he knows and what he's experienced about God, and just has such a really authentic way of doing that. So he's going to share some thoughts about fruit from Matthew chapter 12, and really bring some great analogies into this short class that he's going to share with us, and really some parallel passages that I had not even considered in conjunction with this passage, and does such a great job pulling it all together. So I'm going to kick it over to Zack and let you guys just hear his thoughts that he's going to share with us.
Hey Metalark, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Zack. I've been a part of the college ministry for about a year and a half now. As I sat down to do the Red Letters Bible class, I thought that this would take me about the exact amount of time it would take to record the video. And then I sat down to do it and realized I just needed to read the Bible and dive really deep and have a ton of conversations with God, which was difficult for me because I've been getting my master's in English literature, and I don't do a lot of prep work. Like, I just sit and I write what I need to write, or I record what I need to record, and then I submit it. And I realize that only works because I inhabit that stuff so often. If I'm not reading a book or listening to a podcast about it, I'm talking to someone, and so it's just my entire thought life, and so it's what pours out of my heart supernaturally. And so it's been really humbling to realize that I don't necessarily do that with God the way that I want to. So Matthew 12:33 says, "Make a tree good, and its fruit will be good, or make a tree bad, and its fruit will be bad. For a tree is recognized by its fruit. You brood of vipers, how can you who are evil say anything good? For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in him, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in him." I had a mentor one time tell me that you could tell what's important to a person by where their feet are pointed and what's on their calendar. And so just sitting and looking at my calendar and the abundance of Netflix shows and group activities rather than the things that matter the most to me, it's easy to get really disappointed in myself. Just doing this class and sitting down this last week and kind of talking to God about just 3 verses, I've had some of the more deep and intimate experiences with God than I've ever had in my life, and that is really inspiring. I think as I pour into the Bible and it pours back into me, I find myself wanting to prioritize it. So that's been really good. Make a tree good, and its fruit will be good, or make a tree bad, and its fruit will be bad. For a tree is recognized by its fruit. The interesting thing about fruit is that's what produces the seeds that then grows the plant that then produces the fruit. So if you find yourself sowing bad seeds, it's very easy to then taste the fruit and continue to sow more bad seeds. And the same with good seeds. So I think it's very easy to wind up in these cycles of both positive and negative, right? If you're sowing good seeds and experiencing good things, it's so much easier to just go back to sowing good seeds. And if you're sowing bad seeds, it's so easy to just continue to sow those. And I think without God's grace, it's pretty impossible to turn that crop around ever. Proverbs 11:18 says, "The wicked earns deceptive wages, but one who sows righteousness gets a sure reward." I used to struggle really heavily with faith in general, but specifically this concept of reaping and sowing, because it's really easy to watch bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people and wonder, if we do reap and sow things, then why do I so often feel like that's not what's happening, and that the justice isn't occurring, or that life is just unfair? But things take longer than that to come to fruition. Like a common apple tree takes 8 to 10 years to even produce fruit. So, if you planted one today, you might not even be alive to see what that does. And I think that's kind of the whole point, right? Spiritual fruit isn't even necessarily growing for this lifetime. It's taking care of each other and exchanging seeds to love others and reap an eternity with God. Galatians 6 says, "Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Whoever sows to please their flesh, from the flesh will reap destruction. Whoever sows to please the Spirit, from the Spirit will reap eternal life." So with that, in this lifetime, it's really easy to feel like you can sow bad seeds and continue to reap good things. Have your cake and eat it too. But the Bible's pretty clear that we're harvesting for an eternity. Ephesians 3:17 says, "So that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, that you, being rooted and grounded in love." I think that pairs with the end of Matthew 12:35 really well. A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in him, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in him. God very clearly put light in our hearts, and as we're called to him and dive into him, it's really easy to dive further into him. Reading all of those verses together, it's really easy to reach this conclusion that's do good things happen, pray, reach out to God, and everything will work out in the end. But I guess my question to all of you is, how do you go about sowing good seeds, and what kind of things do you do to fertilize them? I think for me that answer lies in John 15:5. "I'm the vine and you are the branch. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing." Start of me sowing good seeds, I think, just is born from pursuing God above all else.